Welcome to the Raise podcast with Carol Barwick. We're here to raise your confidence and inspire your creativity. This time, it's more like a season of mini episodes where Carol explores the raise word. The raise word is a word that will encourage you or empower you and at times inspire you to explore the word a little more for yourself. Each episode is just 10 to 15 minutes with the idea you can have a listen while you drink your cuppa. So grab your favourite drink and let's get started. Well, hello and welcome to A Cuppa with Carol. I'm Carol Barwick. My goodness, what a week it's been. If I say the name Charlie Kirk, if I talk about flags and roundabouts and general unease and sadness, you might think that those are words that I'm going to choose to think about today. But I'm not going to talk specifically about any of those. I'm going to talk about a word which is much more important in the world right now. And that's the word compassion. I wonder what the word compassion means to you. You know that I love words and I love the kind of where words come from. And the word com is always with passion. Now, passion in itself is an interesting word, and maybe we'll look at that another time. But today we're going to think about passion in terms of really feeling that something's important, fighting for something tooth and nail, defending it. So what does compassion look like to you? Are you a compassionate person? Are you somebody that hears the things that are going on in the news and your hackles rise, your spirit rises and you want to do something and make a difference? Is your compassion global or is it more for the individual? Where does your compassion lie? So many of you know that I'm a Christian, and when I talk about Jesus, I think very much of a man who understood compassion. He felt deeply for those people around him, and he wanted to make a difference, and he did make a difference. I was reading back over some sermon notes from a few years ago, and I found a lovely bit that seemed to have been a challenge from one of the leaders, which is this. If you had 10 minutes to convince somebody that you loved them, how would you do it? Just think about that for a minute. 10 minutes. If you could make a difference to someone in 10 minutes and show them that you loved them, how would you do it? How would you put across that they were important, that they mattered? How would you share compassion? If you knew that you'd never see them again, would that make a difference? I think right now that whole idea of doing something thinking that you might never see the person has actually been one of the biggest problems, particularly on social media. People spewing out vitriol and hatred because they think that they're never going to see the person. These kind of blind ways forward, just trying to get out how people feel without thinking about the other person, showing no compassion, no mercy, thinking only of themselves. How does that sit with you? How has your social media presence been this week? If you only had 10 minutes on social media, how would you show people that you loved them? Now, I'm not naive. I know that love is not soppy, innocent, sweetheart kind of things. There's all kinds of different love, and there's ways that you need to show tough love too. But how do you do it with compassion? How do you get a difficult message across in love? Because Jesus did that too. He was able to get across all kinds of difficult things because he had compassion, because he loved the people that he was talking to. He saw potential in them. He saw that they could make a difference. If you know today that you've been looking at somebody just thinking, well, I'll never see them, and maybe saying things that are not loving and helpful, just take a minute, take a breath. How could you turn that around? Because you can. We can all make mistakes and we can all rectify them. We can all do things wrong and we can all say sorry. I'm not going to talk about the word repent, and it's a bit of a Christian jargon word, but the word repent basically means to turn around. How could you turn around something that maybe you've thought or said over the last few weeks? It's a difficult world right now. And I've been looking at a poem that I could share, and actually I found a song. Might be able to share the song with you at some point, but like I've done on previous episodes, I'm just going to share the words with you. And it's a song I wrote while I was in Guatemala. When I was in Guatemala, I worked with street children. So children that so many people had no compassion for. So many people just didn't see them at all. They were known as the street rats, vermin, that they weren't there to make any difference other than to be swept away because they didn't make the city look so good. And it really prompted me to write several songs. In fact, I wrote a whole album full of them. But this particular song is called You Do. And just think about the words as I read them. I don't have big enough arms to reach around the world, but you do. I don't have infinite love for every boy and girl, but you do. And I don't have the compassion I see in your eyes, and I don't have the wisdom you share with the wise, but I have your salvation, and I do know your love, and you've shown me that that is enough. Well, I don't have the answers to calm all their fears, but you do. And I won't have the patience to dry all their tears, but you do. And I'm feeling quite foolish and I'm making mistakes and forget that one falter is all that it takes. But I have your forgiveness and I know I'm made new. So what more can I do? All I have to do is remember to come to you each day, or the power within me comes when I walk in your ways. And it's good when I shelter in the shadow of your wings, and it's then that I realise that I can do all things when I'm with you. I don't have endless provision to meet all their need, but you do. And I won't have the courage to sow endless seeds, but you do. And I often feel useless and I want to give up till I come to your table and drink of your cup. Then I'll rise like the eagle as you set people free, for you've shown me that that is the key. All I have to do is remember to come to you each day. All the power within me comes when I walk in your ways. And it's good when I shelter in the shadow of your wings, and it's then that I realise that I can do all things when I'm with you. This, of course, speaks very much of my Christian faith, my love for God. And you may do things in other ways, but as I said earlier on, we can all say sorry. We can all start again. Let's have compassion for each other so that we can see the world in a more loving light. If you had 10 minutes with somebody, how could you show them that you love them? Thanks for having a cuppa with me. Let's have a cuppa again soon. If you've enjoyed having a cuppa with me, then you can buy me a coffee. Go to buymeacoffee.com/Carol Barwick. Let's have a cuppa again soon.